Welcome back to Stoic Daily X, where ancient wisdom transforms modern lives. I'm your guide through the practical principles of Stoicism that can revolutionize how you face life's challenges. Yesterday, we explored voluntary discomfort and how intentional hardship builds resilience. Today, we're diving into what might be the most essential Stoic concept of all, the inner citadel. Imagine this scenario: you're stuck in gridlock traffic, horns blare, you're going to be late for an important meeting, your phone buzzes with urgent messages, the person in the car next to you cuts you off aggressively, your heart races, your muscles tense, stress chemicals flood your system, you feel your day spiraling out of control. Now imagine the same external circumstances, but with one crucial difference. Inside your mind exists an impenetrable fortress, a space where external chaos cannot penetrate without your permission. This is what the Stoics call the inner citadel, your mind's capacity to remain sovereign regardless of external circumstances. Marcus Aurelius, who faced constant war, political intrigue, and eventually a devastating plague during his reign as Roman emperor, wrote in his private journals, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." These weren't just philosophical musings. They were practical survival tools for maintaining clarity amidst chaos. In today's world of endless notifications, political division, economic uncertainty, and information overload, the concept of the inner citadel isn't just relevant, it's essential. When was the last time you felt your mind was truly your own? When did you last feel unshakable amid life's storms? Today's episode isn't about escaping reality through positive thinking. It's about something far more powerful: developing the ability to engage fully with reality while maintaining inner sovereignty. It's about building a psychological space that external circumstances cannot violate without your consent. Think about how different your life would be if criticism couldn't devastate you, if traffic couldn't infuriate you, if delays couldn't demoralize you, if the news cycle couldn't terrify you. This isn't about becoming unfeeling. It's about choosing your responses rather than having them chosen for you. Subscribe to Stoic Daily X for daily wisdom that builds this inner fortress stone by stone. 1 minute of ancient wisdom each day could transform your mental landscape forever. Hit that subscribe button now. The concept of the inner citadel runs deep through Stoic philosophy, but its most profound articulation comes from Marcus Aurelius. As emperor during tumultuous times, he wrote reminders to himself that we now know as meditations, essentially an emperor's private journal on maintaining mental sovereignty. He wrote, "The mind adapts and converts to its own purposes the obstacle to our acting. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This wasn't mere theory. Marcus faced invasion, betrayal, plague, and personal loss. His inner citadel was battle-tested. Epictetus, another Stoic who began life as a slave, suffered physical disability, and later became one of history's greatest teachers, explained the foundation of this practice. Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. He understood that true freedom isn't about controlling external circumstances, it's about mastering our responses to them. This distinction between what we can and cannot control formed the cornerstone of the inner citadel. The Stoics identified a revolutionary insight. While we cannot control events, we always retain authority over our judgments about those events. This seemingly simple observation has profound implications. Consider how this contrasts with our modern approach. We often attempt to build security through external means: more money, better insurance, stronger locks, higher status. These aren't bad pursuits, but they fail to address our fundamental vulnerability. External circumstances will always remain at least partially beyond our control. The Stoic alternative was to build security from within, to create an internal fortress where judgment remains sovereign regardless of external storms. This isn't about detachment from the world. It's about engaging with the world from a position of psychological strength. I recently spoke with Dr. Elizabeth Chen, a trauma specialist who incorporates Stoic principles in her practice. She told me, "What fascinates me about the inner citadel concept is how closely it aligns with our most effective modern trauma treatments. Both recognize that healing doesn't come from changing what happened, but from changing our relationship to what happened." This insight, that freedom comes from how we relate to events rather than the events themselves, remains as revolutionary today as it was 2,000 years ago. In a world where external uncertainty seems to increase daily, the ability to maintain inner certainty becomes increasingly valuable. Stay with me as we explore how to build your own inner citadel. And if you're finding value, subscribe to Stoic Daily X for daily wisdom that transforms fleeting insights into lasting mental fortitude. Let's transform this ancient concept into practical daily actions that strengthen your inner citadel. I'll share 5 specific practices you can begin implementing today. First, practice the morning reflection. Before engaging with the world each day, take 2 minutes to remind yourself what is and isn't within your control. One subscriber, Michael, a high-stress emergency room physician, shared how this transforms his workdays. "Before entering the ER, I mentally repeat, 'I control my responses, my focus, and my effort, nothing else.' This simple ritual completely changed how I handle chaotic shifts." Second, implement the judgment pause. When something potentially upsetting occurs, insert a brief pause before responding. During this pause, ask yourself, "Is my judgment about this situation helping or harming me?" One mother wrote to me about using this technique with her teenager. "When my daughter does something that would typically trigger an immediate reaction, I pause and examine my judgment. Often I realize my distress comes from what I think her behavior means rather than the behavior itself." Third, practice perspective taking through the Stoic view from above. When faced with a seemingly major problem, imagine viewing it from progressively greater distances, from above your city, your country, the planet, the galaxy. This exercise helps recalibrate the apparent magnitude of your concerns. James, a business executive, uses this when facing corporate crises. "By mentally zooming out, I can distinguish between genuine emergencies and what just feels urgent in the moment." Fourth, conduct regular fortress inspections. At day's end, review instances where external events breached your inner citadel. Don't judge yourself, simply notice the patterns. Sarah, an elementary teacher, realized through this practice that her inner citadel was most vulnerable around 2 p.m. when her energy naturally dipped. "Now I protect that time with a short mindfulness practice rather than trying to power through." Finally, practice the preemptive surrender. Each morning, acknowledge that certain annoyances and setbacks will occur today: traffic, rudeness, technical glitches. By mentally surrendering to these inevitabilities in advance, you remove their power to surprise and distress you. As one follower put it, "I now begin my commute thinking, of course there will be traffic." When it happens, it's no longer an affront, it's expected. These practices aren't about controlling the external world. They're about maintaining sovereignty over your internal responses. Remember Epictetus's words, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Building your inner citadel comes with challenges. So let's address the most common obstacles people face when implementing these practices. The first challenge is mistaking Stoic resilience for emotional suppression. The inner citadel isn't about not feeling emotions, it's about not being tyrannized by them. One viewer, Rebecca, initially struggled with this distinction. "I thought building my inner citadel meant I shouldn't feel hurt when my colleague criticized me. I later realized it meant I could acknowledge the hurt while not allowing it to define my day or my self-worth." This is crucial. Emotions provide valuable information. The Stoic aims not to eliminate emotions but to respond to them from a place of wisdom rather than reactivity. As Seneca advised, we should admit that anger is an agitation of the mind, and we should not be slaves to it. Another common challenge is the all-or-nothing trap. People attempt perfect Stoic equanimity immediately, then abandon the practice when they inevitably fall short. Remember that your inner citadel is built stone by stone, day by day. Progress is measured in moments of clarity amid chaos, not in perfect tranquility. David, a recovering perfectionist, shared his experience. I expected to master my inner citadel in weeks. When I still got triggered by criticism, I felt like a failure. Now I celebrate the times I remember to pause, even if I sometimes still react. Those pauses are gradually getting longer. Social reinforcement presents another challenge. Friends, family, and colleagues may unconsciously undermine your efforts by expecting your usual emotional reactions. When you remain calm in situations where you previously became upset, some may even try to provoke your old reactions because your new responses disrupt established dynamics. One executive told me, "When I stopped getting visibly frustrated in meetings, some team members initially tried harder to trigger me. They'd grown accustomed to my reactions as a barometer for urgency. I had to explicitly communicate that my calm didn't indicate lack of concern." Perhaps the most insidious challenge is what I call citadel erosion, the gradual weakening of your mental fortress through constant exposure to designed to distract technologies. Social media, news alerts, and entertainment algorithms systematically target your attention and often trigger emotional reactions for engagement. This environment makes maintaining inner sovereignty particularly difficult. Combat this by creating technological boundaries, periods where you disconnect and strengthen your attention muscles. As Marcus Aurelius would remind us, most of what we say and do is unnecessary. Remove the superfluities, and you will have more time and less bother. The true power of the inner citadel becomes evident not just in how it helps you handle crises, but in how it transforms your everyday experience of life. When your well-being isn't contingent on external circumstances, you discover a profound form of freedom. Consider Alina's story. A single mother facing financial pressures, workplace stress, and parenting challenges, she began practicing these Stoic principles 6 months ago. She recently wrote, "I still have the same problems, but they no longer have me. My circumstances haven't changed, but my relationship to them has transformed completely. I've discovered a strength within myself that no external situation can diminish." This transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's built through daily practice, through thousands of small moments where you choose your response rather than react automatically. Each time you pause before judgment, each time you distinguish between what you can and cannot control, you add another stone to your inner citadel. The beauty of this practice is how it compounds over time. As your inner citadel strengthens, you'll find yourself approaching life's challenges with growing confidence. You'll begin to recognize that the security you've been seeking through external means has always been available internally. Marcus Aurelius captured this perfectly. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. This isn't just philosophical wisdom. It's practical power that transforms your experience in traffic jams, difficult conversations, health challenges, financial stresses, and every other domain of life. Tomorrow on Stoic Daily X, we'll explore Stoic journaling practices, powerful written exercises that complement and reinforce your inner citadel. While today's practices help you respond wisely in the moment, journaling helps you process experiences, extract wisdom, and prepare for future challenges. I encourage you to begin today with just one practice from this episode, perhaps the morning reflection or the judgment pause. Notice how even this small step begins shifting your relationship with challenging circumstances. Subscribe to Stoic Daily X if you haven't already. Join our growing community of modern Stoics building inner strength through ancient wisdom. One click ensures you never miss these daily principles that can transform your mental landscape. Until tomorrow, remember that your mind is your own sacred territory. No person or circumstance can enter without your permission. In a world where so much remains beyond your control, your inner citadel remains sovereign.